Has this entire wolf warrior offensive and this diplomacy backfired for China and Xi Jinping? Is it China's and Xi Jinping's popularity at an all-time low? Pew Research has done a study across 14 nations, more than 14,000 respondents, and these are the findings that have come to the fore. Let's have a quick check of what all has come up. Beijing's reputation at its lowest point on record in 2020. 61% COVID spreader tag is the biggest reason for the censure. 61% of the respondents have also come out and said poor handling of the outbreak is the reason why they're really upset. Also, he's been banned for expansionist designs, especially vis-a-vis India and what is also happening in the South China Sea. Criticism for poor handling of Hong Kong protests also standing out. Also, treatment of the Uyghurs and the way things are being handled in Xinjiang province have been condemned outright. And she is in the bottom two of the least trusted global leaders. So he is, number one is Donald Trump, but number two is Xi Jinping. Now, how this is a stark change to what the trends were earlier. Let's quickly look at three nations where there's been a huge, very sharp dip. And this is what Pew Research has come out and said. Now have a look at these numbers. In 2015 in Australia, popularity numbers were 57%. It went up above 60% in 2017, but look at the sharp drop. It's down to 15% in terms of favorability. And look at the unfavorability, how it has jumped and how it has gone in Australia. The 33% found him unfavorable, 81% now find China unfavorable. This is on the back of cyber attacks, on the back of involvement in local politics, and of course, the nature as far as the trade imbalance and the trade issues that Australia is facing vis-a-vis China, especially around the COVID-19 scenario. UK tracking the pro-China lobby. Look at this, 45%. It peaked above 50% mark in 2018, and now it's slipped to 22% in 2020. And if we contrast in terms of the unfavorability, it was 37% in 2015, went up to somewhere in the around 42%. And then now it's peaked to 74% in 2020 as far as the UK is concerned. Australia, UK, and now let's look at America, the US. Now 38% in 2015, and now it slipped down to 28%. So it didn't have huge favorability in 2015, but it did go up to around 40%. And now the unfavorability number is at 73%. It was 54% in 2015. It's gone up to 73% in 2020. So is this entire wolf warrior offensive backfiring big time for the Chinese? Let's go straight across to our panelists, Ambassador Ashok Sajana, Sreeram Chaulia, and we also have Andrew K. Leung and Michael Kugelman. Good evening to everyone. If there are laws to protect whistleblowers, why are whistleblowers fleeing Hong Kong and fleeing China and taking refuge in other nations, especially when it comes to the Wuhan virus, Sreeram Chaulia? Why is someone like a Dr. Li Mengyan now in New York, and why did she flee Hong Kong? Why there are other doctors too who have come out and said that China deliberately concealed the reality as far as the Wuhan virus is concerned. And let me tell you, I continue to keep saying this. China is one nation where the Wuhan virus originated, and since February it has not shared the total absolute count of the virus patients.
Well, Anand, the guilt is quite obvious, and that's why the global public opinion has turned against China. I mean, these figures you have just quoted are just so staggering. It just shows how poor the soft power of China has become. They have been in the pursuit of hard power, which is military and territorial aggrandizement and taking over spaces for geo-economic control and for their minerals and for resources. What they've done is they've alienated the people of the world. See, even in the developing world, Michael says maybe developing countries, you will not find such a negative opinion. But see, the people and the regimes are different things. The Chinese, what they do in Africa, what they do in different parts of Asia, is they try to buy the elites, the presidents and the prime ministers, and at that level, they try to gain influence, but actually they rob the poor in these countries. So what these surveys are showing on these, China is actually an empire. They claim that, they believe in win-win cooperation and that, it's mutual benefit. Belt and Road is for, improving the infrastructure of developing countries. The reality is, you cannot, and this survey also shows, Anand, China cannot impose its so-called Beijing Consensus on anybody. ordinary people around the world, decent people are rising up and saying, enough of this. We don't want this empire.
Correct.
And so that rejection is a very important thing. And the second point is, Anand, they cannot create any coalition, or alliance really, because what they have is some dependent countries where they have, captured the elites and put them in their pockets, and the people are against them. So the soft power game, they're losing it. They spend
but
billions
China is not looking at allies,
propaganda.
Sriram. China is
reached. Propaganda is not working. People don't take their propaganda.
China today,
it's not bought by ordinary people anyway. So,
but the fact of the matter is,
look at their infrastructure.
Sriram, I have limited time.
CTV, CGTN, worldwide coverage, worldwide promotion of
no,
Confucius
Sriram, see, I'll tell you, China today
This is the
stands at a
result they have
position
at the
where
end of
it
the day.
believes